Brandon touched on Jay Ajayi, the second highest priced running back this week, and for good reason. He is facing the San Francisco 49ers, but there are some very big concerns with Miami's offense. That's the subject of my first trend. If we look back to last week, in that game for the Dolphins against the Rams, they were without their left tackle, Brandon Albert. We had discussed in the pod last week that he fractured his wrist, or he dislocated his wrist somehow. Didn't know that was possible. But that he had surgery on it last week and did not play. And then their center, Mike Pouncey, who is a very good player, he had an issue, I think it was a hip issue, late in the week. He missed the game as well. Laremy Tunsil bumped out to left tackle to cover for Brandon Albert, and then he got hurt too. So their big three offensive linemen, who generated this big run for Jay Ajayi. The first game that they three played together was that first game where Ajayi had 200 yards rushing. It's kind of falling apart right now. And the subject of my first trend is looking at their rushing efficiency when they don't have those three together. So if we look at their game logs so far this year, they played 6 games in which they've been missing at least one of those three guys this year. In those 6 games, they have 93 rushing attempts. They're averaging negative .06 rushing net expected points per carry, which is well below the league average, which is negative .01 right now. And their 36.6% success rate is also below the league average, which is hovering around 41%. So basically, when they haven't had all three of those guys, they've been well below the league average. In the 4 games, though, where they have played, it's been kind of stupid how efficient they've been. The team is averaging .19 rushing net expected points per carry with a 43% success rate. Again, league average is negative .01, and they're at .19, so, they've been dumb. Ajayi in those 4 games, 608 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Last week, without those guys. So you could say maybe Ajayi figured something out. Maybe it's just because they decided to give him the full load, he finally, did well. If we look back to last week, this is after he, had his run of destruction. He had 77 yards rushing, but only 4 of his 16 rush attempts increased the team's expected points for the drive. So a 25% success rate with those guys hurt. If they don't have one of these guys in the lineup on Sunday, I am very worried about Jay Ajayi. Let's say they're all three there. They're facing the 49ers. They're ranked 32nd against the rush based on numberFire's metrics. Ajayi, they've shown they want to use him a lot. Ajayi would be a lock for me if they have all three. But if they are missing either Brandon Albert or Mike Pouncey, I can't do it. I'm fine without Laremy Tunsil, and he seems like the most iffy of those three. But if they don't have either Albert or Pouncey, I would have a lot of reservations about Jay Ajayi, even in a dream spot.